Hello everyone, this is Rebecca from Papeterie de Choix, and welcome to Thorough Thursday. I had a little bit of hard time trying to figure out what I wanted to do for this project. I started one thing yesterday and my heart just wasn't in it, and so I looked around at some of the things that I've been wanting to do something with, and this bag jumped out at me. You'll have seen it in a video a couple of weeks ago, probably. It's quite a big gift bag. It measures approximately 21 and a half inches tall. And then, I'm running out of space over here. And then, right at 17 inches across. So, there's a lot of scope here for a project. Now, there's probably going to be just a little bit of a decision-making process here. Because I want to do a folio type thing, but I also want to use as much of this paper as possible without doubling it on itself. So I'm kind of thinking that I might cut it right through here and right through here to start with, and then see where we are. I also got out this pack of cardstock. I think I got this at Michael's. I'm pretty sure this is came from Michael's. The one that we had here in where I live, it closed down about a year to year and a half ago. And I know the store itself, I guess, it has an economy thing, but ours was, I think, a little bit different because, yeah, there was some criminal activity, not in the store, but somebody came in the mall with a gun and held somebody hostage, and it took place in Michael's, and I think business just stopped after that. But on a positive note, we're going to use a paper pad. Now, it has in the row what colors are in it, and so I'm looking at this kind of dusty lilac type color, which is this, and I don't know. It's a little bit different than it shows on the front, but I've looked at some of the other colors in here, and it lends itself to this kind of background color that's almost like a purpley gray. So I'm going to pull out at least 2 sheets of this. I got this paper pad. I made a journal for somebody. I mean, I've had this paper pad probably 3 years, I guess. But for the life of me right now, I cannot remember what I made with it. But anyway, we're going to see what I mean. It's just kind of, it keeps it neutral, and I think it'll let this show off. And the bag has a little bit, not very much, but a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Transparency. I mean, it's like 5 or 10%. So I think this will do well. So I'm going to quit talking and find my scissors. So kind of what I have in mind is to do a layered folio project. And I'm wondering about this part, actually. If I couldn't, instead of cutting it here, just folding this up and let it be a pocket on the inside, and then cutting it accordingly, and then cut the top. Kind of liking that idea. So in that case, I'll cut here. And then I can use this part for ephemera and use this part as the body, and then I'll have the other side. Okay. Well, I can only mess it up once, right? So here we go. So I'm just going to cut this as straight as possible, kind of along this line that's not really a line when you get down close. It's just sort of a mottled little thing. And I don't know if all of this would end up in this project. Am I actually getting that bottom layer here? No. Okay, we're going to put that top to the side for a minute. Because now the back side is a little bit uneven, but I think what I want to do is fold it right along through there. But I'm going to cut this part out and then adhere this scrapbook paper to it, and then it's not going to take it all of that either. Because if I folded it in half and made it like a folio there, that's super wide. Now I could come in this way, could do a trifold. Yeah, I could do a trifold. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is just cut right along this fold line. I hope you can see I'm sort of under the camera. And I'm going to cut it to there. I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, unglue that little piece back down. So, I'm going to get my scissors in here without without cutting further down so they'll fit. So I'm going to pull this up this way just to get my start along that line. And here I'll just kind of fudge it and connect the two. Okay, now this can go over. Now I think before I go any further, let me get my glue. I just want to, oh, I hit my light. There we go. I just want to glue down these little places that have come up so that everything is glued. That's fine. It's this part. And put that like that. That's going to be underneath, because I want to fold this up like this. And then I can, I still got a frog in my throat. Then I can come in and clip where the pocket will be so that it will be, they'll fit when I fold it. Okay, but the next thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to take my iron and iron it as flat as possible and get these wrinkles out. I'm shedding evidently. And then we'll look at adhering this paper. In fact, we'll do it more like that, behind. Not 100% sure exactly how I'll do that because somewhere there'll have to be a fold. I could do it half and no, let's say I'm going to third it though. Okay, that should work out fine. I might decide to cut one side off and do it as a, and still do it in half. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But anyway, let me iron this flat. I will be right back. Okay, I had a brainstorm and decided to put freezer paper on the back of it, and that way I don't have to worry about the seams or where I'm going to fold it or that sort of thing. So what I'm going to do next is figure out where I want to score it, and actually technically what I should do next is trim the edges. Let me do that first. And just square it up. This is not glued, I just pressed it down with the iron so that it was nice and straight. So the freezer paper comes down to this line, and then it's just up like that. So what we're going to do is just get the stuff out of the way that I don't need right now. And just going to lay this down against this and get it squared up, and then we're just going to come in and trim that little bit, and then we're going to turn it over and do exactly the same thing here, just so that everything is squared. And my blade's getting dull, so it bunches it up sometimes. So I'm actually going to be gluing this anyway, but I want to just put a dot on it just to hold it, kind of hold it together a little bit. So now let's get the scoreboard over here. I got my trash can too far away from me, so I'm having to reach, and I'm going to score it. Okay. Also, the new thing I need to do is actually see how wide we are. So right here is 16 inches, so it's going to be like 16 and a half. Or maybe a touch over 16 and a half. Well, if I can get my hand to work right. Almost 3/4. So that ruler is 16 inches plus 3/4. So if I do 3 into 16, that don't really work. that 3 into 15 does. So could make the back a little wider. If I do 5 inches and 5 inches, let's see what we'll have. If we do 5 inches here, and then, and then 5 inches here, that comes out to right there. So that's 7 inches in the middle. That's not enough overlap. So let me just kind of do this and do that. And see how it falls without actually well, that's not too bad. That's almost equal. Okay, I'm going to pinch it here and then pinch it there, and then we'll score it wherever that is, or the mark closest to it. So that's coming out to just past 5.5. I'm going to make it 5.5. So I'm going to score it there. And then this one's coming out right at 11.25, so I'm going to score it there. Right, let's see what we've got. Yeah, I know I still have to trim these, but I just want to get an idea of how it's going to look. Okay. I believe we can carry on with that. I think I'm going to actually lay it back in there and score this pocket on its single side, because it was doubled when I scored that, and that way I can see better where to trim it so that it, when I fold it and then fold it this way, it doesn't bulk up in the middle. At least that's the plan. And I trimmed that there, didn't I? I did. Okay. Now, to trim these, I'm going to fold it backward on that score line. And I'm just going to put me a little clip on it just so I don't have to hold it so tight with my thumb. And I'm just going to do a little trim like this right up to that fold line. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I know this is a little bit of different than usually I come in and I'm like, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. Yeah, today's not one of those days. Evidently. I know I had that right up in your face, didn't I? Sorry. Basically, this is a little bit of a craft with me and maybe a touch of a tutorial of how to break down a giant gift bag to make a folio out of it. Okay, now, because I trimmed the sides, the pocket is loose now. So what I'm going to do is just run me a little bit of glue here, just a little bit here, and along this side, and fold that back up like so. Just do that on each one of them so that they just sort of stay in place and don't wreak havoc later when I need them to be in a certain place. So, and I suppose this could be done in any size bag, and when I was first thinking about it, I was thinking about doing some little mini things, different types of. Now, since I put freezer paper on this, and I know it's white, I don't know exactly if I'm going to actually use that now, unless I use it in the, you know, the construction of ephemera, as opposed to reinforcing the strength of the actual thing. I don't know yet. I think I need to put just a little bit here. Even though technically, my goodness, my mouth's dry evidently. I need to go get me something to drink. The allergy medicine I take, it just dries my whole system out. Okay, now let's just fold that way along this. I think my workstation's floating around a little bit too with all this moving. I could actually bring this one. Well, I've already cut that now, so this is where it's staying, I suppose. Okay. I need to straighten up the top. It's a little warped. Okay. Reckon this will cut through 6 layers of thin paper. Only one way to find out, huh? Sure. Everything is lined up straight on the bottom. Haha, yes. Yay. Sometimes you just never know with these things. Alright. Well, that's looking good so far. It's a very big folio. Let's see. It's going to be 5 3/4 inches wide and almost 9 1/2. Be 9 3/8 tall. So that's a nice size. Okay, so the next thing I guess I need to do, if I'm not going to be putting anything back here, I can go ahead and glue down these pockets. But, hold on a second, Rebecca, don't get ahead of yourself. Let's just see. If I cut out a rectangle and put over it and just left this just a little bit of a white border, enough for it to fold. like that. That would reinforce it more, and I'd still have this. Or I could just, instead of doing like a border like that, I could actually do something a little bit smaller. But I like the idea of having this to build on. It looks good in the white too. I think since springtime is sort of around the corner, I think my eye's not looking at the grungy stuff as much as it is the clean and floral and that sort of thing. So I'm almost thinking this would be better as ephemera than back and let. Because it is, I love this because it has this waxy feel to it. Okay. You know, the one thing I could do is come up part of the way with another pocket on the inside and come up a little bit further. Well, there's my timer thing going off, so I've been on here like 30 minutes. So let me pause the camera before it runs out, and I'll be back with a decision. So I made some executive decisions, sort of, kind of. So I glued these down. I cut up that kind of pinkish paper strip. And then I remembered that I had this paper pack. This comes from Hobby Lobby. I bought it about 4 years ago to make my daughter a pregnancy journal for my granddaughter, who just turned 3 years old last week, and I've not used any paper out of it since. So it has all these colors. So I picked out, I think, this one maybe. This one was too dull. Even they look completely different on in real life as what they do on the front. But anyway, so I cut out some pockets to glue on top, and then I think I found them at a thrift store, a brand new, I think it was an 8-pack of these different color inks in these little boxes. There's those and those and that one and these two. That was all in it, brand new, had never been opened. So I opened that and picked out this color that was really close to this and just inked around the edge slightly. I had a quilter circle. I didn't do the best job in the world and using my craft knife and going around it, but yeah, it could definitely have a little bit tighter, and they're all that way. But for what I heard somebody say the other day, it's handmade. It's supposed to be a little bit off. So so I'm going to go with that and just leave it the way that it is. And just did I didn't use my little thing that I got out here. I just used that and just rubbed it across the texture just a little bit to give it just a little bit of grunge, and so that it didn't look so stark. So so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue these down here, because these are going to go under these pockets. Now I probably ought to move off of the actual journal to do this, just in case something crazy happens. You never can tell. So there's one. And down it goes. I cut it at the same width as the background, so hopefully everything lines up just like it's supposed to. And I think while I'm at it, I might as well just go ahead and do the pockets here. So I'm just going to put a little fine line right up the sides, like so. And this does have a little bit of a loose flap here, so I'm just going to hit it with some glue. It was that way on the bag, but that way I don't have to worry about anything coming in or out. And when I'm through with the whole thing, I'll hit it all with the iron. So, yeah, might actually need to put just a tad more right through here, like in the seam, so to speak. Or maybe I'll wait till I'm done with the other two, because it does sort of fall off the edge a little bit. Okay, so we will carry on. So yeah, I don't know exactly what. I think I want to make some tags. Maybe I might just do journaling cards with what's left. We will see. Okay, come on now. Fit the way you're supposed to. Oops. Okay. I will go ahead and put this, but I think I'm going to wait till I press it till I do these, just because there's 2 layers of paper and then there's this little crevice. So I'm going to wait and do it all at one go, I think. Or should I? Maybe I'll just come in a little bit more. That one was starting to stick. So I'm just going to come in just a little bit more. And that way I know that there's enough glue on that to hold it down. So that should fix it. So just do like a little double run like this. There we go. One more. And these are going to be quite big pockets, so I think journaling cards will be better, because a tag that's wide enough to go in here would look really funny. Although I could do some narrow ones and do like a little spread. We'll see. Okay. There that is. This one's glued down pretty good. Of course, there was one part that I think I did already. I don't remember. When I was filming this earlier, it was, usually I film at night, but I didn't know how long this project was going to really take, so I was trying to do a little bit of it in the daytime, but my husband came home from work. so I had to wait till he was otherwise occupied to finish, because we live in a very small house and the noise carries. Sometimes you might hear him cough or something. And okay, so I'm going to pause the camera and press this, and I'll be back in just a second. I realized when I started to press it that I had not inked the pockets, so I inked the pockets real quick before I pressed it, and then just went ahead and inked the whole thing. So it all has this nice purple. It matches really good. But I think what I also want to do is round these outside corners. But then again, I don't know if that's the thing I should do, since I've matched these up like this. So let me just put it in here and see how far it would come down. It didn't even really catch it, and it's actually still a little bit damp. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to leave it. And these lids do not want to come off at all. Just going to hit that back a little bit, but yeah, these are still somewhat damp. Okay, well, that part's done as far as the folio itself. Okay, so let's look at, this is the other part of it, and this is where it was glued together. I wonder if I can undo that without damaging it too much. Just had an itty bitty line of glue, looks like. So let's trim that little bit off. And that looks somewhat straight. So there's a piece we can use. And here is a piece we can use. Now, we still have this part of the top of the bag, and I know that the bag goes this way, but the pattern is this way, it looks like. My thought was that using this piece here, I could cut a little band and make almost like a mini cover to go over, and that would act as the closure. So that's what I'm going to do. But again, it's going to be one of those things that I don't think I need to use the whole thing, because I will need to back it. I've got these strips over here that I can use if they're wide enough. That one's not, and this one's going to be the same. So I keep turning it away from me. My thought was just to do something along these lines with a little tie closure like that. So, I'm going to sort out some different paper here to reinforce it with, and then we'll come back and I'll make this part. So, I'm going to be gone again for a few minutes, but I will be back. Okay, so I have a plan, sort of. So, I cut a piece of this, flattened it as best I could. Took another piece of the green, cut it to where it would fit just over it and leave a little edge. Cut me out some little hole protectors, hole reinforcers, whatever they're called, to make like a tie closure on this now. Glue stick. So I'm gonna give this a good coverage, and I cannot see it that much, so hopefully I just want to get it to right within the edge, just slightly. I don't want to go over because I'll be putting glue, but I do want good coverage so there's no air bubbles, because if there's no glue then there'll be a little air bubble, and I don't want that. Okay. Oh, alright, let go. And glue. I've covered half of my stuff up. Okay, so I'm just going to go around the edge. That might be just a touch too close to the edge, but we'll work with it. Here and there. And here, hopefully I'm still in shot. I should be, I think. Okay, alright. Well, that's a thin bead. Let's add just a little bit to that. That's like almost non-existent. Okay. Now let's see if we can get this on here with the first shot. Okay. I should have marked my middle, but I didn't even think of it. That don't look too bad. No, it's taller on this side. Still off just a touch. This way. There we go. I think that straightened it out. What do you think? About as close as I can get, I think. Alright, I am going to step over here and press it with the iron and get it, you know, where it won't move. Okay. That's about as good as that's going to get. Now, Okay, so it's just right on 12, so I'm going to score it right down this middle right here. And I'm thinking that I might go 1/8 of an inch on either side so that as it grows, as stuff's put in it, it won't cause stress on it. So I'm going to go 1/8 rather on either side of the center mark, and just put that on there, and that way if it's needed it can be used. Alright, so I'm going to go with that center one. Now let's just do it this way. Okay, let's move that back over there. I know they're both pretty much the same, but the way the shading is on this looks upside down to me, and this looks right side up, so we're going to use that side, and it's going to look something like that. So for this middle, I could just do one and measure it from there, and that's right smack on 3 inches, so we need it at the 1.5 inches, so I'll put it about right there, and make sure it's as even and straight as it possibly can be. Okay. Well, throw my tools across the room. Okay, now these little tweezers do not hold the best in the world. I've got a set over there that I don't have to squeeze them, but I think I got glue all over them so they don't work the best in the world. I've got glue all over that. Oops. It's funny, you use all these tools to get it right in the right place, and then you touch it and it goes wherever it wants to go. Oh. Okay. So yeah, I've filmed this over the course of, seems like the whole day. Between my husband coming home from work, and then it was time to eat supper, and then we sat and talked for a while. So I'm just now kind of getting back to where I was, and each time I was like, okay, what was the last thing I was talking about? And usually I wait till he goes to bed, but he's in the living room watching TV, and I have the door shut, and I said, now if you come into the kitchen, be quiet, I'm ain't gonna go in here and film. Okay. So, he's very supportive of what I do, so I'm thankful for that. Okay, now those have got to dry, but I need to find a string, something pretty to go in there. I don't have to do that right now though, but I am going to pop this around there like that, and then I'll just have a little piece of string over it. Well, not over it, through it. I'll get it said right after a while. Okay, the other thing that I come up with was I have this piece of paper left over from where I was putting all this stuff together, and I was thinking that it would be a good a good journaling card, or something along those lines. And I just want to kind of try to straighten this and hope that my blade doesn't bunch it up. Okay, let's now see what we've got. I might have cut too much off of it, but yep. Okay, let me trim. I wish that this had numbers that came all the way to here. I mean, sometimes you just need to trim a smidgen, and nobody always wants to trim a whole inch. You know, one of these days they'll make something that we can actually use, you think? Okay, so I'm going to cut 1/4 of an inch off of that. And that should give me enough. Yep. Okay. Now on these cards I'm not going to do the border because this is like a writing piece, and so I'm just not going to do that. But this has the texture on it, so I'm going to put glue on this back side. It is textured also, but it's definitely flatter. You can feel the difference. And the journal that I made for my daughter, she picked out the colors, blue and yellow and gray. It's been a while, I don't remember exactly, but it's like navy blue and yellow. And so I used this to make the signature like covers, and I did one for each month that she was pregnant. So I did 9 signatures in it, and then it's a spineless journal. She's filled it up. I made it so that it could expand. If she needed me to expand it, I could. But I used some navy blue and yellow ribbon. Once I had bound the book together, I used the ribbon to decorate the whole spine. And so I had some blue and some yellow, and then I had some coordinating that was yellow and blue, almost like an ombre, but it didn't turn to green. It just went from blue to yellow. That I put in the middle of it, and it looks really good. But Kimber just turned 3 on the 21st, and I started it, she was about 2, maybe 3 months along with her when I started making it, and it took me about a month, I guess, to get it all done. I do have a picture of it I don't have a video or anything of it, but I do have a picture of it that I found a greeting card of all things. It was like a congratulations, I suppose. I don't know what's under my thing, but I got a hump. But it showed a woman that was pregnant, and it was like a congratulations, and so I was able to cut the little sentiment thing off and use that, and the dress that it was like a cartoon drawing type thing, not a cartoon but a drawing, very vintage looking woman, and her dress was white with yellow trim, and it was like the perfect shade of yellow. Now these I am going to punch, but I think I better press this before I punch anything. Okay, now this is 6.5 inches, so I'm going to cut it in two to make 2 cards from it, actually. So half of 6.5 is 3.25. That looks just fine. And I'm going to use this to sort of match the belt. It's a belt. My goodness. So I'm not going to make these tags. I'm going to make them journaling cards. And then I'll ink them. Okay, so there's that one. I really like this punch because you can make a tag or card or whatever, any size, and it'll fit in this corner piece. And you have two looks, but then if I put it in from this way, it makes it look completely different. So I just wish I could find another one like this that had different shapes. I'd buy it in a minute. And then of course you got the holes under the little bar that you can punch a hole in it. Okay, now this is how I'm going to do these because they're just very this small like this. You can just use it like not a pouncer, a dauber, whatever. This works just as well to do it like this. And I think it's good to kind of mix up the types of journals that you do from time to time. Most of what I do a lot is vintage kind of themed, and I think it's good to do something a little different. And sometimes, I mean, I wouldn't be doing anything like this if the bag that I showed you at the beginning, this bag, if it didn't inspire me somehow. But when something inspires you, I think you should kind of go with it if possible. Okay. Now, so we got a pocket here, and then this pocket here that I now can't see because I covered up. So I'm going to put that up like that. I could do a tall pocket, I suppose, but we can do it sort of like that. Looks like mason jars with that border on the top. A little bit. Okay, so there's that. Now, I did, here's some that I prepared earlier. My husband imitates Billy Mays a lot, so I guess some of it's ripped off. I was thinking about doing these as tags. actually. And then I can use this and top them. That's an idea. Okay, so I'm going to, I don't want this video to be, you know, 1,000 hours long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these and glue them to here and get them cut out and ink them. And then I'll put them in the thing, because I am kind of, I think, getting toward the end. And I don't know how much bag I have left. I know I do have another piece left. Yeah, I've got this piece left, and I've got this piece left, and then I have the remainder of that border. But basically the remainder of this folio is just going to be deciding between tags and journaling cards and that sort of thing, and just filling it up. So so I'm going to finish doing the ephemera, because it's all going to be the same process of, you know, cutting it out, gluing it on a piece of backing paper, and then putting it in. So I'll do that because that's very simplistic, and then I'll show you the whole thing at the end. So when we come back, it'll be like a little bit of a show and tell. So I'll return shortly. Okay, I'm done. Took me about 2 hours, 2.5 hours to back different pieces of ephemera. I basically just used the leftover card stock that I used to make the band here and the stuff on the inside, and just fashioned the cards and tags out of that. So let me show you what I've done here. I added this little bitty skinny pocket on the inside so that you could put these. Otherwise the front's pretty, but it was just kind of plain. So I just did these 2 little tags to go in right here. And this this band, it still has a little bit of room, so it does slide a little bit, but there's plenty of room in here to still fill it up. I'd rather it be too loose and have room to fill it up than it be too tight and then it don't work right. So on the first page, you've got 2 long tags that are backed with the pink, the same pinky purple-ish color. According to the paper pad, it's supposed to be purple, but it looks pink to me. And so those go in there like that. And then I made just this little bitty journaling card that I folded in half, and I just put it there. And then you open it on up, and then I made this giant one. And I used the piece of green that I had left that I cut the band off of to do this one, and it's just one giant, and more could be added to this, of course, but this is just what I did for the purpose of the project. And I'm actually thinking of putting this in my store, so I'll leave it the way it is. And then this has got a little bitty piece of pink on it, just a little journaling card. And then another little tag here with the pink on the back. And then these 2, I think you might have seen these already, that has the green on the back. Now, I have used almost the whole bag. What I have left is the other side of the band that I did, no, not this part, but the this outer band. It's the opposite side of this. So I have that left. Have this one little piece left that was near the top. It's got this jaggedy edge, and then this one strip right here. And other than that, the whole bag is in here, minus a few little bitty strippy pieces that I, cut off, that went in the garbage. But this is the big pieces that I have left. So if I decide to put this in my store, I'll just add this and some of the, as far as the background pieces, oh no, I told you a fib. I had these two little pieces left over too. So of the pink, this is the piece I had left over, and of the green, I had that one left over. And so if I do put this in my store, I'll put in a piece of this pink color and put in a piece of the green for whoever should want it. They can make this anything they want to, or I might just one day just go ahead and finish it. Anyway, this is it. I could definitely put a pocket or something here, and more definitely could be added. I thought that I got down to this point and I kind of run out of paper, and I didn't want to get a whole new sheet to start again, and I really need to clean my floor. It's got so much paper on it. But anyway, I'll definitely clean it by Friday morning, because we're leaving Friday mornings, and I want to come back to a clean floor in my craft room, so maybe Thursday evening. Anyway, this is the project for Thorough Thursday, and if you come across a gift bag that you like the design, figure out how to make it into something, and who knows where it can go. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.